Today we're going back, and the theme for this year's Festival of Ideas is beginnings.
So I am going to perform a poem, which is a rendition of a poem by Lebo Moshile, a South African poet, and it's called Africa. Woo! If you would have asked my family our surname 50 years ago, this is what we would tell you. Singomtinkulu, Omakuluku, Omashiyamahla made njengenyamazana ogugana ongelenge, omashwabadela bashwabadela inkomo kanye ney'nkondo zayo. Africa, you do not have a name. Things that go unnamed wander around the world, wondering where to go, where to look. In Africa, names are asked for, prayed for. Blood is spilt in the name of naming. Warm red liquid into the dust fills the dead with life. Our names are the dead speaking.
This poem is for a woman I love. It's titled My Promise. Is it the way you move your lips? Is it the way you sway those hips? Is it the fire that I see in your eyes, the longing of my heart, the rustling of leaves in wind, the warmth I feel when you are near? Is it this? Is it that? Yet I promise to give to you this coil of crusted gel with an open palm, softly entwined, primo like virgin intentions, to seal my faith in our love, to cut the song with my toys, and it rises only from your midst. And as it sets at the foot of our grey twilight, all my life just lower your arms to protect you. And with bricks, swings too, I kick the fresh-skin fleas off your delicate skin. My promise to watch you pour in your sleep, and I rock your back to break the vibe. I do this again with a smile and listen to the music of your soul calling dawn. This time, that time, the next time. My promise to hold when it is cold, to bring you the moon and share my stars, to crown your head with fidelity's crest. This place no tempest shall dare to write for you alone and unwind from the loom like thread on the loose, to stare in sweet disbelief as I attempt to put words in worthy adoration of your charm like spicing for beauty and its peppered essence. Yes! I can feel your heat on my tongue. This heat like yaji on suya, usoji on the garden egg, the icing on chocolate cake. Giggles from the kitchen where steam and condiments are mixed with your spark as you make the home of this furniture and see the stars, the long walks we take in the park. It talks about our kids, the me you see in me that I do not see in me for long. I've been hooked to your charm like the sun loves to rise. I promise there will be moments when life will happen true and everything will not be poverty. Yet every breath and every stress and every strain in your voice, with all my heart will beat to, with all my ears will tune to. You're my music, you're my poetry, you're my muse, you're my essence, and I promise to be forever and true. This I promise to you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
How systems that existed got interrupted by colonization, apartheid in the case of South Africa. How do we ensure that that information is mainstreamed into the education sector to ensure that it does not die with our grandmothers? I mean, I think of my grandmother and her knowledge of herbs and plants. I have not seen seen that because they grew up in the city, they are on their phones. How do we ensure that that information does not die and then get exploited by these big companies, big pharma, big tech? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very tricky. But like you said, you've already given us one part of the answer. You have it. So it's now your duty to tell those people in the city about it. And I've been doing that, especially informally within my classes.
How do we use storytelling now as a form of resistance, especially maximizing on the fact that we also have technology?
I think the easiest way is using social media because there are several stories that you would not hear without Twitter, X as they call it now, Instagram and some of the social platforms. An easy example that comes to mind is the EndSARS event that happened in that was 2021 or 22. Sadly, the government tried to stifle a lot of what was happening. There was a lot of gaslighting, but because people were telling these stories real time, it was very easy to know what was happening.
As we lie down under the shade of a mango tree and belch, life is good. I'm enjoying myself right now. And he will continue. If any other goods came close to where he was sitting, a man would put his head down. He didn't have a carpet like this one, like this. And he would headbutt any goods that came close to his buckets of hay and other beautiful, delicious edibles. A man was the king of the farm. But one day, 3 men walked into the farm and captured a man.
My mother once said that her mother said, and that her mother's mother once said to her mother. But truth is being buried, stories misled. In whispers lost in time's embrace, lies Africa's forgotten grace, a legacy obscured by fiction's veil. As issue whispers slowly pale, true shadows cast by ancient law, we seek the truth of days of yore. For in the heart of Africa's land lies a story buried in the shifting sand. In ledges woven with threads of lies, the essence of Africa slowly dies. But in our quest, with eyes wide awake, we'll find the truths that time can't forsake. For in the journey to unearth the past lies the hope to break tradition's cast, to reclaim the tales of Africans' birth and honor the legacy of its worth. So, let's delve into the depth untold to find the truth that time holds. For in the discovery of Africa's true story lies the key to unlocking its full glory. Thank you so much.
Love is essentially freedom. Love is freedom. And freedom exists in small places, close to home. She once spoke through the broken jaws of Jim Crow's law. She spoke of carnage. She spoke of the Holocaust. She spoke of child labor during the Industrial Revolution. Freedom is hope held in the eyes of a child in North Korea, hoping to someday welcome the world into his stead. His arms would open wide like flowers bloomed at his back and open patch. Freedom questions in those beads of tears down the cheeks of a mother, holding the lifeless body of a son, another victim of hate somewhere in Tripoli, in the firm grips of a beggar's bowl in South Sudan under the scorching sun. Yet he says yes to his heart, yes to his rights, and yes to life. Freedom speaks in black and white. red or burnt amber, Mezai or the royalty, Buddha or the Christian, bending by the knee, rocking the chaplets, forehead to ground, saluting the deity in the Vatican, in the Buddha, over the city pub, in the cloak of our common humanity. Freedom speaks to all of us. In the quiet resolution of the cross or straight of those we hope held behind bars of the free, with little rules, the sweet arches over the roof on Wall Street, the adolescent girl owning her sexuality of that individual seeking a public office. She speaks through the walls of Gulag. She was revetted at the bottom of a totem pole. Libya, Somalia, Syria. Freedom walked the streets of Zimbabwe. She was peopled by controlled resolve. She sounds like laughter shared by the brave curves in Freetown. There she speaks in Creole. She is the exchange of beer by migrants in Sao Paulo. There she speaks in Portuguese. Freedom declares that all human are born with rights and dignity. Freedom is you. Freedom is me. Freedom is why I'm here. And freedom speaks. Freedom speaks in black and white.